So I think it's very important for a lot of real estate investors to think is your cash has to live somewhere, but make sure it lives somewhere that's safe and that's predictable and that offers, guaranteed returns.
Originally we were talking about, okay, this is, I mean, I could see why it's better than traditional, but so that was life insurance on like steroids, right? And so bank on yourself. Is there more to it? I mean, this is enough. Like, I don't think you need to add anything else, but I'm just like soaking it all in. I'm like, you're throwing in all these things. What, I know there's tax deferred. There's a lot of stuff that you can't, I want to hear all the juice, man. What else should I be writing down and then following up with you and your team on, because we need to figure out more. What else? What are some other benefits that we're totally sleeping on as investors playing aggressive offense?
Yeah, so I think with investments, you need to ask yourself before you look at the rate of return or alongside the rate of return, you need to ask yourself other questions. Like, number one, what is the tax liability on this? Am I paying taxes every year? Do I pay taxes in the future? Do I pay taxes now? Ask yourself, what is the tax liability? Number two, ask yourself, how much does it cost, aside from the rate of return, but how much does it cost to maintain this investment and the service fees along with it? And then number three, ask yourself, what is the liquidity like? How can I access my money anytime? Are there penalties? Are there fees? Do I have to wait a certain amount of years to do so? And then the reason why I bring this up is because when you, and then also think about the risk too, the risk and associated with it, the historical risk behind this type of investment. And the reason why I'm mentioning these things is because with whole life insurance, number one, as far as risk, we only work with mutual insurance companies that have been around for over 160 years, who've been paying dividends and compound interest to the policy owners and death claims and everything alongside with all the promises they made for over 160 years. So there's a lot of certainty, and they've been able to do this during the Great Depression, during the 2008 crash, during coronavirus pandemic. During all these times, they've still been able to pay out the dividends to the policy owners. So I think it's very important for a lot of real estate investors to think is your cash has to live somewhere, but make sure it lives somewhere that's safe and that's predictable and that offers guaranteed returns. Also, too, as far as fees, we already talked a little bit about the fees. The fees are typically the highest in the first 2 years. And in my opinion, that's a good thing, because what happens is eventually over time, while earning dividends and interest, you eventually recoup the fees that you pay to the insurance company in the first 2 years, plus interest, plus more. You get your money back, plus more. Other investments, like more of on the traditional side, passive side, excluding real, I'm not talking about real estate, but other types of investments, as your account is growing, the fees are growing alongside with it too. Like in 401ks, IRAs, other plans like that. And it's not to bash those. It's just kind of something to bring to the attention of the real estate investors and the business owners, is that think about how much does it cost? And aside from the returns, how much does it cost to maintain this? And of course, we talked about liquidity already. It's not an either or approach. It's not either I do whole life insurance or I do real estate. It's kind of a both and strategy where I could invest in real estate and build up a whole life policy. And I could use the whole life policy for real estate. And then I could use real estate to pay for the whole life insurance, and then back and forth,